Alrighty, time to get cracking and put this medic money together for this week. I think it's time to use the GlitchxCity because I don't exactly give it enough love, as much love as it should be getting. Okay, I hear boops and beeps. Who is messaging me? Well, I've been kind of wanting to try this game out, so why not? I mean, if it's good enough to make Lunar wanna do a cactus, it's gotta be pretty good, right? Nice character. Yes. A monk. Yes. A monkey.
I will not juggle.
Oh my god. Yes. Yeah, Overwatch is a pretty good game.
Welcome to the We Lose Once Again Fest.
Hey there guys, it's Skymin, and just to get this out of the way right off the bat, no, I am not abandoning TF2 for Overwatch. But after playing the open beta, I felt like I'd make a thoughts video, you know, the umpteenth one that exists because everyone's making a thoughts video. I figured I should probably put my thoughts down on this, and even though I don't do this that often, I felt like an Overwatch one kind of needed to be done because of its reputation and correspondence with TF2. So like most people, I picked it up during the open beta, which was a lot of fun, and that's pretty much where this week has gone if you've been wondering where videos are. Been a little busy playing Overwatch since, you know, it's free right now. Granted, I'll probably end up buying it, but, you know, gotta get some time in, gotta experience it, and I think I've got a good grasp on how the game plays, which is not necessarily a good thing. At the time I'm recording this, I've been playing it for about 4 days, and the fact that I've only played 4 days and already know a good chunk of the stuff that's in the game, that's not very good. Taking a look at TF2 you could play for hours upon hours upon hours and still learn new. Like, getting into the thousands of hours. Like, there's still stuff I don't know, but I've only got around 1,600. And there's people that are like 6,000 that still don't know certain things, because TF2 is huge with so many different mechanics. The problem with Overwatch is it hasn't gotten to that point yet, so it is very, very easy to pick up. In fact, if you are a TF2 player or a veteran, you will immediately pick up Overwatch. It is very easy to transfer into. While the game is generally slower, there are some things that require quick actions, which TF2 trains you to do. The best example I can think of is Tracer. She's often compared to Scout, but in all honesty, she's not really a Scout. The only thing is she's quick, but that's only because of her blink ability. But her blink ability and her rewind ability require you to be really quick in action because you need to be able to get out of stuff very fast. And if you've garnered a quick reaction time from TF2, you'll be able to very easily pick up Overwatch. It's not hard at all. And this is coming from someone who's not exactly great at TF2. The only reason I have some skill in TF2 is because of the amount of hours I've played. I've played about 20 hours of Overwatch, and I already get kill streaks out the wazoo. It's weird. Now, like I said with Tracer, there's certain heroes that are comparable to the TF2 classes. While again, Tracer's not really a Scout, she's the closest thing you've got to a Scout. Then you got Pharah, who's obviously Soldier, Hanzo and Widowmaker, who are Sniper with a sniper rifle and Huntsman respectively, Torbjorn, which is basically NG, Mercy is the medic, Junkrat is the demo man, yada yada yada. But they all are actually different, and say you main one class, say you main medic, like me for example, and you pick up Mercy, you're not necessarily going to like playing Mercy because the playstyle might be similar to Medic, with the whole Medigun-like gun that heals people from afar, because personally, I dislike playing Mercy. I don't like it at all. And I'm a Medic main. Like, I enjoy Medic's playstyle, but I do not like playing Mercy. I feel as though she's a little bit more helpless, and the fact that she does not have an uber charge for pushes makes it really weird, and it makes you much, much more dependent on teams, at least in my opinion, but also keep in mind I've only played the game for, again, about 20 hours. So while a few of the heroes are very similar, they really are their own characters, classes, whatever you want to call them. Such as Pharah can technically rocket jump. She can point a rocket and shoot it at the ground. However, this is not advised as 1, the rocket jump doesn't go far at all, 2, it damages you, and 3, you have a dang super jump and a jetpack. There is no point in rocket jumping. But that, again, that's my 2 cents on it. Keeping on the thought train of comparing the two, which really shouldn't be done, but a lot of people are doing it, Overwatch did take inspirations from TF2. It's been directly stated from the development team that there were inspirations taken from Team Fortress 2 as well as other source games. However, TF2 is again a very fast-paced game and requires very quick reaction times. There's a lot of things in TF2, as you guys should know, that require very quick reactions, being able to see stuff. You get the point. Overwatch is more of a strategy game. It's a slower pace, but while there are things that require quick actions, it's more about strategy than anything. And if you thought TF2 was all about team composition, Overwatch is like 10 times worse. It is literally all about who your entire team is composed of, who complements who counters who, all that stuff. It is just so much thought needs to be put into team composition and being able to know what your enemy has and who to switch on the fly if need be. Now, why exactly does it appeal to TF2 players? Well, other than the insane advertising that Blizzard is doing on TF2 specific websites like Backpack, Scrap, and even in-game servers, it is very appealing for several reasons. One, it adopts a cartoony art style, which if you already enjoy the art style of TF2 being what it is, very simplistic, you're most likely going to enjoy the art style of Overwatch, which, like, I personally do. And the art style of TF2 was originally one of the things that got me into playing the game. The characters are very colorful and diverse, something that TF2 did pretty well, especially in the colorful, quirky department. TF2 is obviously known for having its amazing characters, but Overwatch does the diversity thing very well. When is the last time we've had an Indian and Egyptian character in a game that is a main playable character and can technically be called the focus of the game? I literally don't know. It takes so many different people from so many different cultures and does them really well, which is something that TF2 honestly kind of lacks in. Yes, you have your German, your Russian, your French, but the thing about TF2, and the thing that a lot of people need to understand about TF2's characters, is they're all based on stereotypes. They are based on the stereotypes that America had in the late 60s and early 70s, which is why a lot of them have terrible accents, is because they're supposed to be stereotypes and supposed to be what people think they sound like. If you didn't know, that's a little tidbit fact for you. That's what the characters are based off of and why they act that way. But back to Overwatch, another reason why it's very appealing to TF2 players is because it's a class-based shooter. Now, there really haven't been many class-based shooters, especially since TF2 has come out. There's been a few games that have tried to, be rivals to it, but they've kind of just failed entirely. Overwatch seems to be the only real, maybe long-standing game that could actually rival TF2, even though, again, they really shouldn't be compared because they are two different games, technically. But it's a class-based shooter, which we haven't had in a long time, and there's a lot of things that just appeal to it. Plus, the fact that they have the same game modes. There is an attack and defend, there is a King of the Hill, and there is a payload. And there's also a really weird attack and defend payload mix that actually surprisingly works well, where you only have to capture one control point, then a payload comes out, and you gotta capture the remaining 2 points with the payload. It's a nice mix, and something that I found while playing Overwatch is that rounds go much faster. Stalemates really aren't a thing. You might have some overtime, but overtime can quickly be wiped out. Stalemates, especially in control points, TF2, looking at that game mode, can last on forever, but there are no control points in Overwatch yet that we know of. So rounds are actually very quick. Rounds are fun, they're fast, and you don't have to sit there for an hour contesting points back and forth. Now, my personal opinion on Overwatch, because I've had a lot of people asking me what I think about Overwatch, what I'm going to do, the fact that Overwatch is coming out, what am I going to do with it in TF2, and I like Overwatch. It's a really fun game, but it, again, will never replace TF2 to me. TF2 has been really influential on my life, both bad and good, and I really wouldn't be able to get rid of it just for another game. Now, when it comes to mains, I said I do not enjoy playing Mercy. Well, in Overwatch, I am for some reason a much more aggressive player as opposed to TF2, and I'm also a little bit better at being aggressive in this game. And while playing Mercy, you feel just kind of helpless and bored. I think the thing that kills Mercy for me is the fact that she doesn't actually have an uber charge to push. Again, her push is reliant upon teammates, and she just can't really do much. Her pistol does a decent amount of damage, but she is strictly support for the most part. Maybe it's because I've been maining medic for years and I'm finally ready for a change of playstyle, but I just don't enjoy playing Mercy. However, main-wise, if you really want to take that term to heart, it is best to know how to play several different characters, because you're going to need to switch based off of what you need to counter, maybe what your team is comprised of, all that stuff. So personally, the ones that I'm going to focus on are McCree. Mei, yes, you can kill me. I've been planning on maining Mei since the first time I saw her reveal, because she is literally the epitome of my aesthetic on ice and everything. Reinhardt and Zenyatta. Now, the game has some balance issues. The most common one that, if you have at all followed Overwatch in the slightest, you've probably heard about both Mei and Bastion. Bastion is a walking turret. You are literally a turret when you play him. And the problem is, he does way too much damage, way too fast. He can retreat for like 3 seconds, fully regenerate his entire health, and then go back into battle. 90% of the time, a corner-sitting Bastion gets play of the game because he can just quickly mow down heroes from afar. His ability to demolish tanks is a huge issue, as well as completely destroying Reinhardt's shield very quickly. He's incredibly easy for new players to pick up and just absolutely decimate a team by just sitting there in sentry form and mowing everyone down. The main problem is the fact that he does so much damage no matter what range it is, and I think that needs to be nerfed a little bit. Maybe some kind of like damage fall off or a kind of accuracy nerf where he's not as accurate, because he's surprisingly accurate and he can destroy characters such as Tracer in like half a second. Anyone that has low health, immediately gone, no matter what, even if they don't see him, dead. Now, Mei is the other hero that's been getting a lot of crap too, and the reason being she's incredibly annoying to deal with, specifically her freezing ability. While I find the wall to be pretty fine considering she is a defensive character, the Ice Cube and the ability to sub-zero freeze your opponents is the problem. I personally think her Ice Cubing ability, where she turns herself into a literal ice cube, needs to not be invincible or have some kind of cooldown nerf. I think her two abilities do need maybe a little bit more time added onto the cooldown, and that might make her a little better, meaning, because when I play Mei, I may throw up a wall, do a little damage. If I get in trouble, I'm gonna hit shift, I'm gonna turn myself into an ice cube, wait out the period for the wall because it'll most likely come back, and then once I get out, I will throw a wall up in front of my enemies and just retreat. Because it's actually incredibly simple to do, and Mei is pretty easy to pick up and play. She gets a little bit of taking used to, especially her right click, which is her icicle. A lot of people have complained about the icicle too, but I personally think while you can spam it, it does kind of reward accuracy, and it's her only long range ability, because her left click is very short range. And basically my only advice to people is stay away from Mei. If you are in close quarters, you are most likely going to get frozen and destroyed. Mei is not a character that you need to be close to. If you find her in a corner, if you think you can take her out, take her out. But if not, just retreat back and hope to God you don't get frozen. This isn't really a formal like tip guide, so take some of these to a grain of salt, because again, I'm just kind of throwing things out there that's coming off the top of my head, and might not necessarily be the best things, but you get the point. Now, the last thing I have an issue with are the sentries. While the damage and fire rate are all fine, the problem is sentries do not have a limited range. It is unlimited range. If you can see the sentry, it can see you, and it will shoot you. The sentries in TF2 have a limited field of view, in which it will target somebody and shoot at them. These don't have that. They have an unlimited range. You can literally be across the map, and it will see you, and it will target you. That's the only thing that I really think needs to happen to sentries. Now, on the other hand of the spectrum, we have some characters that kinda need some buffs. The main one that I think needs a buff is Zenyatta. Zenyatta is personally my choice of support, and he is a lot of fun to use, but he is a bit difficult to get the hang of. The only problem is, and this is a huge problem, one-hit kill body shots are a bit of a problem. Zenyatta has the lowest health in the game at 50 with 100 shield, so he has basically 150 in general. But the problem is 150 is a fully charged Widowmaker shot, which can be gotten in like 1 second. I think he needs a slight either shield or health boost just to get that up a little bit so he can at least survive a body shot, because that makes him a very much of a problem when there's a Widowmaker around. And I think he needs a very slight speed boost, just tiny bit, kind of like how Medic is a tiny bit faster than like Pyro and stuff, because he is a bit slow and he should be able to catch up to his team and stuff. But that's the only thing. Zenyatta is a very powerful character on its own, but that's a whole nother discussion for another day, which I may get into a later video. Now the big question is Overwatch here to stay? Just take a look at Blizzard's history of games. Very, very long-staying games, with World of Warcraft being kind of the main thing. I personally think Overwatch is going to be around for quite a while, because Blizzard is putting a lot of effort into it. There was a lot of things about this game that's polished, and it's still technically in beta. The competitive scene is already a thing, and Blizzard is creating the game around a competitive scene, unlike TF2. TF2 is just now getting its matchmaking scene with, you know, even though competitive's been around for years, Valve is finally attempting to support it and all that jazz. And right now, it's pretty bare bones. But if you think about TF2, it was exactly like that at launch. If you go back and look at how TF2 was back in 2007 compared to how it was now, you may be shocked if you've never seen it, because there was a lot of things added, especially things that you might think are basic now. And I really think Overwatch is going to grow, because it's been confirmed there are going to definitely be new heroes that are added throughout the time it's being developed and stuff, and I really think that Blizzard is putting a lot of effort into it. And I'm kind of glad to see Overwatch, because again, it's a new class-based shooter, and it's a lot of fun. If you are kind of a purist, which honestly I was at first, I was a little bit mad about Overwatch. I was especially mad about how Blizzard was doing their advertising and getting all into a lot of the TF2 stuff, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of the sites literally focusing on the competitive scene and inviting YouTubers to come like play the game and stuff. I personally didn't like that, because that was a really cheeky advertising strategy. But after playing it, I really enjoy it. Again, it's not going to replace TF2. TF2 is going to be the main focus of this channel. Plus, my computer right now can't exactly record Overwatch very well. Every time I have tried to record Overwatch, including the footage you see on screen now, my audio distorts horribly. I will be making a few videos on it, because there's a few things I want to get out, but that stuff's going to be kind of saved until after it comes out. Because remember, it's still in beta, and after the beta's done, it's gone for about 2 weeks until it comes out. So I'm going to be waiting until it comes out. I will be getting it. And I really urge you guys to give it a shot. The thing about Overwatch is it's actually urging a lot of people to pick up TF2 again. Whether they feel like they want to go back and play TF2, or it's actually introducing to them because they've heard about TF2 through the whole Overwatch TF2 fight. Yeah, you get the point. So it is actually attracting some people to TF2, which is hopefully a good thing. Now Valve, you just need to get your stuff together, get matchmaking out, get matchmaking right, and hopefully TF2 will have a little bit of a revival, and hopefully Overwatch doesn't kill it. Honestly, I hope not. I don't think it will, but who knows? The future is the future. It's not written yet. It could happen, it could not. You could look at predictions, yada yada yada, but you don't actually know what's going to happen. It's all based on the players. So that's my rather long thought on Overwatch. I have a lot of thoughts I didn't share, but I'm planning on saying those later, maybe making some videos out of them. And I want to know what you guys are maining. Like, are you guys maining just one class if you're playing the game, or are you going to do several different ones to have some variety? So comment below what you guys are going to be maining, and I will see you guys in the next video. The miniguns, on the other hand, completely disabled. Can't use any of them. Why? Again, medieval. Minigun didn't exist. You can't Uber people. Plus, that would be incredibly strong if you were able